And then I'm going to start the recording. So I'm just going to go back over the attendance sheet again. Unless you wanted to start with the introductions and then do attendance.
You could do the attendance. I see Malcolm just walked in.
Okay.
So we have Malcolm, Chun, Mary in person, Wendy, Susan, Cindy, and myself online.
Yeah, and don't I don't know if we can. I mean, I could put remote for Susan, but I'm pretty sure to count you have to have just that video. But
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, that's the step, is that you got to have your video on if you're remote.
Okay. Okay, so today is Wednesday, March 6th, 2024. This is the Education, Culture, and Youth Services Committee meeting. My name is Phyllis Nastasio. I am the chair of the committee. And those of you in person, would you like to introduce yourselves?
I am Chun. I'm the co-chair.
Mariel Hockham, member.
Malcolm Gray, member.
And those online, Cynthia?
Cynthia Rodriguez, committee member.
Wendy?
Wendy Hewlett, community member.
And Susan?
Susan Perez, community member. Sorry.
Okay, so we did have two things on the agenda tonight, which was discussing the PS 105 edition and the youth leadership. We'll save the youth leadership till later, and we'll go into executive session to discuss that. But I'd like to start with PS 105. We do have the PTA president with us. Ms. Serrani? Hi, how are you? So just for those of you that aren't aware yet, PS 105 is getting an extension, and the parents there would like the extension to include a middle school. As of now, it is not including a middle school.
Yes.
Go ahead, Ms. Serrani.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Gensila Serrani, and I am the PTA president on PS 105, Senator Abraham Bernstein. I am mother of a 9-year-old girl and 4-year-old boy. Both they are students on PS 105. As members of the PTA, we ask you that the addition to be the middle school, our PS 105 to be pre-K to 8th grade. We created a petition where we collected 933 signatures from parent and community members. We presented it in District 11, where all representatives Community Education Council 11 have approved it. Since PS 105 is a community school, it is very important to become a middle school. We have so many reasons for wanting a middle school at this site, standing with the fact that we love PS 105 and want our children to stay there. Most importantly, our nearest middle school also entails a dangerous walking commute across Pelham Parkway. And many other schools have grades pre-K to 8th grade, so why not PS 105 students?
And as far as the middle school, there's two options, I believe. One is on Purdy Street, and one is over on Gun Hill Road. Those are the only, besides 83, which basically feeds their own children. So both of them, I know, are quite a distance from 105.
Yes, yes.
And have you presented this to Christine Vaughn?
Yes.
And what was her take on it?
They all approved.
Okay.
All the CC members approved it. But I think we didn't find the correct people to send this petition and to say, okay, that's it. We have this. Now we want to discuss and to see what we have to do.
Okay. And what about the principal? Is he on board?
The school, the principal, the teacher, they say nothing. They don't want to be included in this. This is our PTA members and the community.
Okay. So I don't know if you're aware, but at PS 108, we just went through the same fight. And later on this month, they will be casting the final vote, and it looks like it will go in favor of the parents and move up to 8th grade. So that was a long, hard battle that they fought. Maybe I can put you in touch with the two women that spearheaded that, and we'll see exactly what steps they took. But I do know their principal was on board with them. Principal Mustafa was with them right from the very beginning and helped fight with them. So maybe we need to talk to your principal and see what his feelings are on it. But I'm in total agreement with you. The school should go to 8th grade. I've seen the plans, and there is room for it to go to 8th grade. They're
Yes.
putting a new extension of 3 floors. So it should be more than enough space, even if they keep the 3rd floor for DC 75 students, which I believe was the original plan.
Yes, yes, because in this school that we are now, we have some room left. They are empty. For this, we are thinking that everything it will be good.
Okay.
We have a meeting with Consul Christy Mamoranato.
Uh-huh.
Yes, we are presenting the petition. I think this is the person that some of the lady that I meet on the CC, they told me that this is the person who can help you with that.
Okay. So I can help facilitate that too.
Yeah, we have a meeting on them on March 18th.
Okay. Okay, perfect. I'll reach out to her before then. And also the assembly member, John Zuccaro. He's very much into helping the whole community. And he actually used to live right near 105. So getting him on board would be a good thing too. So maybe you should call his office and speak to either Ornella or to Evan and see if he would come on board and help.
Who is this? Can you repeat?
John Zuccaro, Assembly Member Zuccaro. His office is on Williamsbridge Road.
Okay.
And I'll reach out to him also and let him know.
Okay, yeah, just they can call the school because they find the number online. They can call the school and I get all the information there, the phone number, the email, everything.
Okay, excellent.
Thank you.
Does-
Thank you so
Do
much.
any of the committee members have anything to add or any questions? Is there anyone else that would like to speak on PS 105's behalf? Excuse the dog barking. No one else? Okay, so Ms. Sarani, we will get in touch with you.
Yes,
And I do have a copy of your petition and I do have the plans for PS 105. So I will definitely be in touch with you.
thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much. Bye.
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 So before we go into executive session, I think we should do the gallery session. So then those people don't have to stick around. I don't know. Elle Stewart, do you have anything you'd like to say, add?
Point of information. Point of information.
Good, I'm sorry, I can't hear. Malcolm, is that you?
Yeah. Do we have quorum to vote?
No, we don't. So we can't vote on anything.
What we need quorum to go into executive session?
We can discuss it, but we can't vote on anything.
I know, but to go into executive session requires a vote from us. I'm asking if do we need quorum to go into executive session?
No,
So-
because it's on the agenda.
Okay. Good time.
It does.
Yeah, it requires a vote.
Well, I think that what we what she's meant that we're not gonna vote for anything, we're just gonna be talking.
Yeah, but in the first place to go into the
Yeah.
session.
You would have to have to vote for it.
Okay.
Well, Jeremy, you still on? From what Jeremy said, if it's on the agenda, we can go into executive session. We just can't vote on anything. It's just to discuss.
Let me actually try to give him a call because he did text me. Hey, sorry. We all have a question. To go into executive session, do we have to have a quorum to even do that in the first place? Okay, so we actually technically don't even have an official meeting to begin with because we don't have a quorum.
Right.
So the question is, could we even hypothetically go into executive session if we can't vote on going into executive session in the first place?
You just don't want to get in any trouble.
Yeah, Malcolm said we just don't want to get into like any trouble or anything.
I have a question.
So
Yes, Wendy.
Were these the 5 people that have applied? Was this circulated to the board so we have a chance for the committee for review?
I believe the copies were at the office. Are you there, Malcolm? Were the copies of the 5 nominees left there?
my bad.
Are the copies of the 5 applications?
I don't see any in here. Did,
Do you know where copies of the applications are, by the way?
I'll make sure everybody gets a copy of them. I know it was sent to me. I don't know who was on that email.
He did email them.
So,
Remember that.
for me, I don't feel
Okay, so
comfortable
what should we do about executive
talking about something that I didn't see. So,
Hold on, let me see who was on that email.
he did send it.
Like by law, can we do it?
Might as well not, just in case. Yeah, we should.
Do you want to talk about this? Here's Malcolm.
Oh my gosh. Jeremy, I don't know. I feel like this could be something that that might cause an issue down the line.
Yeah, I don't think we should take any
Yeah.
chances.
Yeah,
Because generally, we have to vote to go into executive session. And in order
Yeah.
to vote, we need a quorum. It just makes sense.
it's definitely going to pause.
And the other part of it, I think, is that even if we discuss it tonight, we can't, make any decisions anyway because we still have no quorum. So we'd have to
Right.
repeat the same discussion in a month from now.
I mean, I'm okay with this.
Like we can discuss it, but we just can't technically we don't even have a meeting because we don't have a quorum.
Okay.
I think we need to have the material in front of us, right? So,
He did send it to us. It's in the email. And I
When?
also looked at all the application already.
We push this to be voted at leadership.
Cynthia, did you receive the 5
Oh.
applicants?
Jeremy sent us
Okay.
like 2 applications last month. I have received
Right.
5 applications for the Yankees
Okay.
Cup.
So this is just because I really don't want us getting into any trouble.
Okay,
We already got no trouble. I think it may be best for us to push this to leadership, so leadership can vote this as a whole, and then we bring that to the full board for a final vote. So we take the application
The
for leadership, and then
but I also want to make a point that the Yankees scholarship is actually not due until April. I think we have another
We still
month.
have,
So I think we can discuss this next month and make sure that we have to come and then talk about this. next
that
month.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I gotta do
So
so.
then if we still don't have it, then we bring it to the full board.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, we do that way.
Yes, but don't
Malcolm.
forget, it's due in April, but there's paperwork that needs to be filled out to be sent in. So we
Really?
have to give the office time to fill out the paperwork.
When does paper needs to be due by?
It's due by April, I believe it was April 26th. So that if waiting for our April meeting is really cutting it short.
So then if that's the case, then we should do the
Make
leadership.
it or put it.
Mm-hmm.
Or we could I mean, there's nothing stopping us from having another meeting this month. Just for that specific purpose to vote on those applications. That is an option that we can do. It should be quick and easy. Get recommendations, send it to leadership, and then done. Doesn't have to be a very extraneous process, if that makes any sense.
Hold on, I'm looking up, when is leadership?
Next week? No, 2 weeks from now.
The 21st?
Yes, that's it.
Yes. So we gotta try to get, I wonder if we can do a virtual meeting.
We can't vote.
Yeah,
We can't vote in a virtual meeting.
you have to be in person to vote.
Okay.
Yeah, you either do it that way, or we go through leadership and then clear it up that way. Or we have to make sure that we have we still need the full board vote for the.
Miguel had a hand up, by the way.
Say that again?
Sorry?
Miguel had a hand up. I know he's not in the committee, but
Wait, who has a hand?
Miguel had a,
I just let the co-chair know that
Yeah.
I'd like to
he's-
speak.
Yep, you want to speak for Gary.
Yeah, so I don't know. Should we handle it this month and do it leadership?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind to handle it this month. I cannot do a Wednesday meeting because I have class on Wednesdays. I'm just on spring break today.
Oh, well, you don't want to say that. All
I
right,
think better we
we go with leadership.
cutting it closer.
Yeah, I mean, we can do leadership, but can we get the material?
Yes.
I think, Jeremy, can you put it all together in one email instead of like sending it in piecemeal?
It may not be.
He's like,
Yeah.
All right, I'll.
We'll reach out to
Yeah.
them.
mhm.
I'll let Jeremy know that to send what he sent me to everybody, because he sent it to me all in one email. It was a weird file, though. I had to actually go into my school account in order to open it.
Okay.
Miguel, did you have something you wanted to add?
I did. I'd like to say that I think it's ridiculous that there's no quorum at this point, at this meeting, and it is a chronic problem. It is a
Yes, it is.
chronic problem.
I agree.
I'm sitting here, no longer a member of the board, but I am at nearly every meeting. And, you know, it is the responsibility of board members to show up. And
I agree.
we're not getting.
The only
board-
reason I'm not there is because I'm home with pneumonia right now.
Well, thank you for staying home. However, you know, it does bother me that, you know, the board is required to do all of these things and nothing has been getting done because no one's there ever. So if I just wanted to put my 2 cents in. Thank you. And I hope you get better, Tiz.
Thank you.
So leadership and then
So I will have Jeremy sends the copies to everyone, and then I will bring it up at leadership on the 21st. And then we'll bring it to the full board.
perfect.
Does anyone have anything else to add?
feel better.
Thank you.
Better.
Feel better.
Ephraim, did you have anything you wanted to mention? I see you just joined us.
Tiz, I want to second what Miguel said, and I don't want to get into all of the semantics of details of that, but it would be good to see just continuity. And the only thing I can say is, adding to that is, I look forward to you getting better, and then you can work on that with leadership and with everybody else on the board. Have a wonderful night, everybody.
Thank you, Ephraim. L. Stewart, you have your hand up?
I do. I just wanted to ask a question, actually.
Sure.
So thank you for the moment. I was wondering, in terms of, I'm glad to hear from 105 and them kind of expressing some of the needs that are going on at their school and their building for the community. I was wondering, does the committee connect with other schools that are in the area to kind of learn what some of their needs are? And kind
Usually
of
the
bringing them to
schools
the table.
reach out to us.
Okay.
So either the parents association or the principal, somebody will usually reach out to the community board if they need our support on something.
Okay, so pretty much it just comes one direction. There isn't like the community board
And
reaching
then
out.
well, like with 108, they reached out, they wanted an extension, they wanted to go to 8th grade. I've attended every single one of their meetings for it. So once we know what an issue is, then we will help out in any way we can.
Okay, I just always feel like there are things that are happening in our schools that, even though they may not be speaking out about it, they exist. Even if it's something to do with the students or, staffing. Um, so I was just wondering, if there were a way to kind of really learn more about just what's happening in the schools,
Well, we are limited in our capacity. We are an advisory committee.
Okay.
So if there's an issue that you know of and you would like to email me, just reach out to the community board and you can forward them an email and they'll send it to me.
Okay. I will do that. Thank
If
you
there
so
was
much.
also like a particular issue you wanted to discuss, we're also happy to hear from you while we
Indeed.
have you here.
Can
Oh,
I say
okay.
something, Susan Perez?
Go ahead, where are you?
I just want, thank you. I know people are making comments about not being there and all that stuff. I have been there lots of times. I just want to say I'm going through some medical issues that I don't need to tell anybody. And that is why I'm not there today, and why I'm not showing myself is because I'm not feeling well. So I apologize. I am always on my camera. Today I am not feeling well, and I'm trying to be part of this. I can't show myself. I apologize. Everyone have a
That's
great night.
perfectly all right, Susan. Perfectly all right. No need for an explanation.
But Miss Stewart, I don't want to be too nosy, but is there any particular school that you're concerned about?
Well, I guess for me, so as part of my professional work, I actually work within a number of the schools. I'm not sure. Sometimes I kind of forget where the dividing line is for the district. So I'm not sure if Evander Childs campus is part of District 11, Community Board 11, rather. But just walking in that school and looking at the student work that they put up in the hallways, I'm concerned about the rigor of our educational system, to be honest with you, because all of the schools in that building are high schools. There's 5 of them, I believe. They're all high schools. And the work I saw on the wall was probably looked like it should be something a second grader or third grader would write. So
Oh no. Is it?
I don't know if that's like a community board issue, but for me, it's like, who do you talk to? Who do you share that concern with when you're feeling like our schools are not really preparing our kids for what they're about to enter, which is either the real world, professional world, if they just choose not to go to college following high school, or if they are going to college, how are they going to be able to keep up with workload when they're used to writing at what's essentially a second or third grade level?
Ms. Stewart, I think what you just said is is right on point. You know, I know I said this before, like I left the Bronx to go to school in Manhattan for a specific reason, and it was because I did not feel as if the Bronx could prepare me for school unless I went to Bronx Science, to be honest with you. You know, for the real world. Tiz, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you probably know more than I do on this, but I know that we can definitely speak to our CEC councils. We're in District 11 for schools, right?
CEC 11, yes.
CEC 11, yeah, CEC 11. So I think that's definitely a conversation that should be elevated up to them.
Yeah.
And maybe maybe we could try to get it to superintendent. But I think schools across the board, from what I'm hearing from parents, from even students themselves, is that they feel unready. You know, they're not prepared for this workforce. They're not prepared for the changing workforce that is happening right now. You know, if you speak to, I hate to say like that, if you speak to the average high schooler, they're really not informed about much. You know, and I think it's because of the lack of expectations that is placed on, you know, students of color in general, especially within the Bronx. And I think that's something that definitely has to be solved. You know, and it doesn't just start in high school, but it really truly starts in kindergarten and in elementary
Yes,
schools
it does.
and in middle school, where it's very important to capture them right then and there.
And just also to second Malcolm, I went to PS 83 K through 8. I also went to the same high school Malcolm went to, which is, you know, it's a very high performing high school in Manhattan. And I was in the top 10% at 83, and I was in the bottom like 10% where I went to school because I was not prepared, because quite frankly, there were a lot of disciplinary issues that teachers spent far too much time having to mitigate, because I was very surprised that fistfights were not a common occurrence in public school until I went to high school. We didn't see any of that. Like, people were actually, you know, people were cordial where I went to high school, and you know, there was a need to, you know, educate students and young people on how to resolve conflicts in a way that does not require police intervention, quite literally.
Right.
Seconding also what Malcolm says, the preparation starts well beyond high school, because quite frankly, you know, the high school selection process is complicated, and it's something that I have brought up before at our, you know, board meeting, or rather our committee meeting. How do we prepare, you know, 8th graders to select the high schools that they're applying to, and how to be strategic in making those selections? Because, you know, handing a student a 400-page book of all the public schools that are available, well, that's really nice to have that information. A lot of them don't even know what they are looking at. And at PS 83, the metric that we were given at the time is look for a school with at least a 50% graduation rate. And that's not a good metric. And with all due respect to the counselor, you are failing your students if you're telling them, like, search for the bare minimum. That's you were failing up to 180 children that were in that class year. So there's definitely more that needs to be done in terms of, you know, preparing students on how to make their selections. I mean, Catholic school is a wonderful option, but it's not one that's affordable or equitable for most people that live in our community district. They cannot afford to pay $7,000-8,000 a year to send their kids to school. And there are excellent public schools that a lot of people simply just do not know about and do not know how to get into. And they don't require exams, and, you know, there is no cost associated with it. And we have a responsibility to make sure that they're informed about these options.
Absolutely.
Susan, do you have anything to add to that?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I just wanted to give you some demographics of Evander, because I looked online. There is 2, 4, 6 high schools and a District 75 school in the building. When I heard you say the work, and I totally understand and I agree, because I walk a lot of schools. But when I heard that, I thought of District 75 school, and there is a District 75 school in Evander.
Really? Okay. There's actually a District 75 legislative breakfast coming up. Let me find it.
Yeah, I just saw it today too.
But things like that,
Unfortunately-
Malcolm, we need to know about, right? So we
Yeah.
can attend. I mean, that's what this committee is supposed to be doing. It is
Yeah.
beyond advisory. It is, we are to know what is going on in all walks of life within our community. It's not about them coming to us. It's about us going to them and saying, come to the table. I've been asking to see District 75. I've been asking to hear from District 11. There's a lot of things going on that I know that I'm fighting with in regards to the school system. And so I'm not hearing those issues at this table. And that part is very frustrating.
Well, I have emailed Christine Vaughn and asked her to come to meetings, but she's ghosting us. She's not responding to emails.
Well, then let's go above her.
Yeah.
And if you need assistance in getting above her, just let me know. Let us know. Some of us have more connections than one can know about.
Yeah.
We got to put it out there.
I learned about the breakfast today from
I learned about it today also, and it's 9 o'clock in the morning,
yeah.
which is really defeats the whole purpose if parents can't attend. Working parents cannot attend an event at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Right. Well, that's very true.
All of their meetings are like that. Housing meetings are like that. All of those meetings, NYSAFA, all of those meetings start at 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning.
I just sent everybody the flyer for
Thank
that
you.
breakfast just in case. But yeah, but Ms. Stewart, I love that you brought that up. You know,
And also, Ms. Stewart, if you're able to look in the chat, I included the link for the CEC, and then if you click on it, you're able to find CEC 11. It gives contact information if you want to write an email or make a phone call.
okay.
I appreciate that, Cynthia. Thank you, because I definitely want to do that. I heard everything you all said, and I 100% agree. It is something that we really need to kind of keep an eye on. And as you mentioned, just the changes that are coming up in the workforce. I'm a Gen Xer, so I went to, high school a while ago, and I actually went through the gambit. I went to a private school from pre-K through second grade. I went to a Catholic school from Immaculate Conception right there on Gun Hill Road, from third grade to eighth grade. And then I went to Truman High School, public school for high school. So I've been at all different stages. I definitely credit my private school and Catholic school kind of start to a lot of my success in school. But it's like if I started out in public school and stayed in public school, would it have been the same? Would I have been that A student? And if I was an A student, to another school in a different area, would I still be an A student? Or would I have been like that C student? Just because like you said, the expectation of, work and what is being produced is just not the same at the same level. So just want to make sure that our young people have a chance, because I know, workforce is changing with the whole, technology and AI. And I'm just, curious to see what jobs will be replaced, that may have been, kind of more entry level, lower level jobs that some of our young people that choose not to go to college may kind of fall into those categories. And, if AI is going to take over the job of, a receptionist and answering the phones, it's like, that's, those are jobs that our kids may not be able to kind of have in the future. And where do they go?
You bring up a really interesting point. So just for a little bit of context, I work in career development in higher ed. My work is more related to employer engagement. However, I also do work with students. So this is something constantly that I'm immersed in. One thing I do, want to share is that there is a resource called NACE, which is the National Association of Colleges and Employers. It is a consortium of different, employers across industries and, different institutions. But one of the valuable things that you might find are the career competencies that employers are looking for in general. So these career competencies do not necessarily, they don't require that you are somebody that had attended college, right? They want to see somebody with critical thinking skills. Critical thinking skills are not necessarily like college is a place that can help foster that. However, there are various opportunities in life for you to develop those skills. That's just 1 out of 7. I think there are 7 to 8 career competencies that have been established that, if you're somebody in contact with young people at that age, maybe, working with young people to help them identify opportunities in their everyday life where they can be, really honing those skills is vital. The other thing to keep in mind is that contrary to popular belief, the demand for a college degree is actually decreasing. And that's actually something that has been, statistically shown across various reports. Employers are actually replacing, they're realizing that requiring a college degree is an equity barrier for a lot of young people who might not have wanted to or have been able to attend college. And a lot of entry-level jobs don't require college. And employers are starting to realize that, and so they are removing that requirement. I think it was about 43% of employers are willing to consider candidates that do not have a college degree for jobs that they previously had required them for. So I would also be really mindful of how the job market is shifting. It might not be shifting in ways that we have expected. And the third thing, to the point of AI, is AI is being used to streamline jobs. The idea that it's here to replace jobs is actually a bit of a misconception. I had some concerns about it initially as well. And the more that I've learned about how I can actually use AI systems to help me increase my accuracy, speed up my workflow and things like that, it became clear that in different capacities as well, and there are reports on this, AI is not necessarily replacing, it's more so streamlining. And so we want to make sure that our young people are prepared to, understand what these tools are and how to use them. Being afraid of them is only going to put them at a disadvantage. Being afraid of these tools is only going to put them at a disadvantage, and they'll ultimately be left behind. So we want to make sure that we're educating them on its uses rather than this is something that's here to replace you.
I use AI every day.
Same.
I think most people do in one form or another.
Definitely. Yeah. It's tremendously helpful. And it's something that, I'm teaching some students how to use as well. Your resume goes through an ATS system, but how do you trigger that ATS system? And there are tools that help you really stay ahead of the curve so that you are prepared for whatever might come your way.
Thank you, Mary.
Yep, I appreciate all of that. Thank you so much. And I definitely just want to make sure our young people are staying ahead of the curve.
Yeah. Check out NACE. NACE.
Yes, I wrote it down, so I definitely will be looking that up.
They have all sorts of resources. There are discussions and things like that that also do take place. Identifying the career competencies, I think, is the biggest metric to, really understanding how to stay ahead of the workforce as it's changing.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you all. I appreciate it.
Anytime. And please feel free to reach out if you need anything or if you have any other questions.
I will. Thank you.
Roxanne, did you have anything to say? I see your hand up.
Yes, hello. Evening. First, regarding the Yankees Leadership Award, was that finalized yet?
No, there's no quorum, so we can't do anything with it. It will be discussed at leadership and then brought to the full board.
Okay, so I'll table my response, but I'd just like for the record, the applicant that I submitted as a candidate, her resume, the application.
I have everything.
Were all submitted before the deadline, just for the record.
Yeah, I have everything. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Second issue, I'm sorry, because I work late. I know the PTA 105 was scheduled to speak with this committee.
Yes,
and I was,
she did.
Yes, I was one of their volunteers. And I'd just like to say the parents collected, with the PTA, collected over 1,000 signatures within less than 3 weeks. I actually helped one day in front of the market, and the committee were overwhelmingly for and many former graduates of PS 105. There's many reasons, and just for you, this is the demographic based on the Board of Education data. 90% are poverty levels, 33% are English learners, and over 10% have special needs. And for their own emotional and physical need, safety, it's ideal for them to have that choice. Now, no one's going to mandate them to stay within their within the same school location, because as some of the parents said, it'll be a financial burden for them and time constraint for them to travel with them to different locations. Some of them are in, I think, in Parkchester and Castle Hill is the Zone Middle School. So, and I
Yes.
spoke to, they went to a CEC meeting recently to discuss the advocacy for PS 105. And I spoke on behalf as a community member and also as a Friends of Pelham Parkway, because we are about equity. And many people say that was very commendable for people who have no children to be advocating for children, because it's not about whether you have children or not. It's about that we always complain when they become a problem. We should try to be part of the solution and help these kids have an opportunity to succeed in life. So this is why I became involved. And other people are involved in my group. So I'm hoping this community, because the PTA is leading the charge and they have scheduled meetings with electeds and other entities.
Yes.
I would hope this board will write a letter of support on behalf of the PS 105 PTA and the students and community in support of their of the proposal to have this new addition on their schoolyard property. Mind you, it's not out there in their property for grades 6 to 8, because currently they have pre-K to grade 5. Was that discussed that this board, this committee would write this letter of support for them and bring up to the full board for a vote?
Yes, but without a quorum, we can't do anything.
Okay, I apologize because I just left work, but I thank you for your time and thank you for listening to me. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you. You too, Roxanne.
Okay, good night.
Good night. Efren, I saw you had your hand up again. Did you have something else to add?
Yeah, Phyllis, when we're talking about that was incredible, talking about how AI is streamlining, and I think that for us to get with the times, I have the privilege of being in the cigar lounge, and I met with the principal of Columbus High School, and it was incredible. And instead of talking sports, we started talking about, and I had mentioned cooperative education. And it's funny how receptive he was and how I heard it from him. But I had said that I think seniors should be more in cooperative education. And he did say, he said, right, yeah, they should be working and then come into the school like on a Friday. And that's something that I think should be emphasized, because getting them into the workforce, that critical thinking, it hits home. And yes, not everybody needs a college education. So cooperative education, I think, needs to be pushed, emphasized in all fields. And I think we should start it. I don't want to go out on a limb here, but I think some 10th graders and 11th graders should actually start it. But that's all I had to say. And maybe one day he could be invited with other high school principals in the district to discuss that.
He's a very dear friend of mine. Ben Ferron, you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, he's a great guy.
Excellent. Yes, and he's got incredible students in that school. That's a great school. And I think that getting them, like what Roxanne had said, helping them now, because, we don't want to talk about things when things are a problem and then just say something when you say it before. And it's something that I think should be looked at, and it should be discussed. And I think the community board should be part of those discussions.
I like that. Efren, I'm sorry, I don't want to share your name. Efren said that because at my job, actually, we actually got into a program where we're taking in seniors, one of the nearby high schools, to work with us. And like they're being paid minimum wage while also learning, like, for example, I work in the bid, so they're learning like bid stuff, I guess. At the same time, like they're planning events with me, they're meetings with me, things like that. I think I can get the name of the organization that we're partnered with to do that, and maybe we can partner with Columbus to give those seniors in that schools that opportunity to be enrolled in that program and to get those opportunities that other schools are already getting.
And I do believe that there are also, so I know that we're seeing this at the college level. I suspect that we're going to start seeing this trickle down to the high school level. Increasingly, colleges are requiring an experiential learning component. Where I work, we've just instituted the same requirement where students must complete an internship, a service learning, a study abroad, something that connects the classroom to the real world in order for them to graduate. And I suspect that we're going to start seeing this at the high school level because it's becoming the norm within higher education. And one of the things that we've identified is typically a lot of students are unable to do unpaid internships or any unpaid experiences, quite frankly, because they cannot subsidize the cost of even their transportation, let alone the professional attire and all the difference that are all the components that are required for them to do it. So these opportunities tend to pose an equity barrier. So I do believe that there are also grants available for students to apply to subsidize the cost of those things, which could be very helpful for them.
If I may add to that,
Can I?
yeah, if I may just add to that, yes, and also the businesses that are in the Bronx and in the city, but I believe that if the children are in a cooperative education, then I believe their transportation should be funded. So we're looking at really investing in education in the city, in the state, even at the federal level. When we're looking at that, we have to say, yes, we really shouldn't leave anybody behind. And I don't want to hear that students cannot do an internship because they don't have the transportation money. So yes, we have to find a way. And I'm looking forward to having more discussions about that. And it's going to take a lot of people to discuss that. And it's something that I'm going to bring up to the council member, Christine Marmorato, and also it's got to go citywide and then it has to go up to Albany. But that's something that we can get done because it's not impossible. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ephraim. Wendy,
I mean,
did you have something?
Yeah, I appreciate us. I too also was in higher education, and seeing the difficulties. Like, I appreciate us talking about high school, college, but to me, it's middle school, because middle school is where the fork in the road comes into play. Kids are not learning what they need to know to get them into high school, to get them potentially into college or a trade school or whatever that may have you. Critical thinking is not necessarily being taught. And we're forgetting about the middle school. I mean, yes, we have pre-K. The knowledge you have in pre-K going all the way up to first grade, second grade, third grade, when they start taking these standardized tests, you're finding the decline third, fourth, fifth, sixth, middle school. And we need to start focusing on that and honing in on the material, what's being learned, who's not learning, who's having difficulties. District 75, yes, coming in, all of that. We cannot forget about middle school and just hone on into high school.
Agree. It starts at the bottom. Miguel?
Yeah, I just wanted to say a couple things. First of all, I loved Mary's thing about AI. That was great. Secondly, I really hope that Ms. Perez didn't think that I was calling her out or anybody out in particular. I just think that for the board to function effectively, it would be good to have a quorum on like more than, I don't know, a third of our meetings or the board's meetings. Thirdly, we have to pay teachers more. That really like comes down, to, I went to a public IB, but it doesn't, like had I not gone through private school all the way, they get paid more. And it just happens that, it works, it ends up being very good. Also, I wanted to say that Chan Sun is here.
Oh, he left.
Oh, he left. He was here, and he's very cute. And that's all I have.
I agree with paying teachers more. As a Catholic school teacher, I get paid even less than the public school teachers do. Thank you for adding that. Does anybody else have anything to add? Okay, then can we even make a motion to adjourn?
No,
I think we just disappeared.
just disappear.
We just turn it off? Okay, meeting ended at 8:03.
I have the meeting
I can't even see anymore. Thank you, guys. And again, I'm sorry I wasn't there. Hopefully next
Feel
week will
better.
be better.
I hope you feel better.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night all.